We are not professors, we are not teachers, and we are here not to teach you, but to make a discussion, free discussion, and to give you good chance to hear from the people who are in the site.
We are not professors, we are not experts, we didn't come here to tell you the truth or to overwhelm you with facts. We came here to tell you our personal stories and our opinions based on those stories. 3 suicide bombers left the town of Nablus and blew themselves up in downtown Jerusalem. They killed 5 people, they injured over 180 others. Among those who died that day was my sister Smadar. She was 14 years old. It was the first or second day of school. She went downtown to buy some school books, to have fun with a couple of friends, and to their great misfortune, they found themselves very close to one of the suicide bombers. She was killed instantly, as was her friend, and the third friend was critically injured. Injuries that she suffers from until today. Well, in such a moment, big abstract questions become big concrete questions. Questions like, how do I go on living? How do I deal with this pain? What do we do now? What part did I have in that? Why couldn't I stop this? And I must say that at that point, it was already very clear to me, well, not what to do, but what not to do. It was very clear to me that the answer to that can't be military retaliation. It can't be revenge, because basically that is what we're talking about. This will not bring back my sister. This will not ease my pain. This will not make me sleep any better. And this will surely not protect any Israeli child. It will just give those people another reason to attack, again, Israeli civilians. I understood that the solution has to be something else, that the reaction has to be something else. But what? I didn't know. But I decided that I must change my direction. I took a lot of time to think and to reconsider, to reflect, to view what was going on around me. And that is that, first of all, well, what happened to me can't be remedied. And it doesn't matter how many Palestinians will be killed or how many Palestinians will be killed in my name. It won't make me feel any better, and it won't bring back my sister. With this pain, with this grief, I need to find a way to deal myself. But the death of my sister has also another aspect to it, a public one. Because she didn't catch a flu, and she wasn't hit by a bus, she was murdered. And she wasn't murdered because she was carrying drugs. She was murdered because she was Israeli, because she was Jewish, because she was living in Jerusalem. And as such, this attack was considered an attack on all Israelis. And in such a situation, the state and also many other organizations take it upon themselves to react in my name. And I said, I can't accept that. For 2 main reasons. First of all, I'm not in the habit of letting other people speak in my name. And second of all, because many of the things done are things that I can't agree with, that I find objectionable and even criminal. I understood that I must raise my own voice, I must react in my own name to what happened to me. And I came to the realization that many of the answers that were given to me were at best partial, if not completely wrong. And that is that my sister didn't die for the security of Israel, or for the rights of Jews to live on that land, or because there's a clash of civilization, or a war of religions, or any of those answers. My sister died for a very simple reason. Because we have an ongoing political conflict over a piece of land, over real estate. We, quite frankly, we don't have the privileges that you have in the United States or that many other countries have. We can't put a sea between us and our enemies and in this way end the conflict. We have to stay there and we have to live there, and therefore peace must be much more than the end of violence. It should be coexistence. We decided to set out and to find other people, Palestinians, people from the other side, our enemies, who like us, know what war is, know the horrors of fighting, and therefore can appreciate the benefits of peace. We, quite frankly, we don't have the privileges that you have in the United States or that many other countries have. We can't put a sea between us and our enemies and in this way end the conflict. We have to stay there and we have to live there, and therefore peace must be much more than the end of violence. It should be coexistence. We decided to set out and to find other people, Palestinians, people from the other side, our enemies, who like us know what war is, know the horrors of fighting, and therefore can appreciate the benefits of peace. We met with them, we sat down and we talked. I won't tell you it was easy. It was very hard, and the first few meetings were very, very scary. I remember entering Bethlehem to the house of Sulaiman for the first time. We were hiding there in some olive grove because it's illegal for Israelis to enter Bethlehem, and waiting to be picked up. And I remember us thinking that this is probably the dumbest thing we have ever done. And it'll be a miracle if we'll come back alive. And one of Bassam, the father of Abir, told me that he himself was very frightened to go there that evening because they thought it's going to be a police incursion or something like that, and they'll be arrested or killed by the end of the evening. But the end of the evening came, and nobody was arrested, nobody was killed. We talked, and we saw that we can agree on many things.
We are going to meet enemies, real enemies on the ground. They are not civilians. They used to be in the elite units in the Israeli army. Some of them served in the intelligence. Some of them served in the, as pilots for the helicopters, and some of them from the special units which used to chase the Palestinians and to arrest them. And from our side, most of us are ex-prisoners. We were committed completely to this kind of actions against them. So on the field, we were enemies, completely enemies. We saw each other through the weapon sights. And it's not easy to make a decision to meet them. I decided to meet them after I met President Abbas, Mahmoud Abbas. We met him in his office in Ramallah, and we met the leadership of Fatah movement also. They completely supported us and encouraged us to continue talking to those people, not to meet them and that's it. No, but they urged us to continue talking to them and to form this kind of activity. We met, and at that meeting really it wasn't an easy meeting. It was a very hard meeting for two of us, full of fear, full of suspicions, full of thoughts and hopes. At the end of that day, we find that there is a lot of things we can talk about, a lot of things we can work together to achieve, and we decided to form this new group.
We saw also something else very important that day, that when we talk like that together to other people, people listen. And when people listen, there's an opening for dialogue. And when there's an opening for dialogue, there's an opening for change, and therefore there's an opening for hope. We saw that we can go out, talk to people, and influence them. And this is what we've been doing in the last 2 years. We go with a very, very simple message. Violence leads to violence, blood leads to blood. There will be only one solution to this conflict, and everybody knows that. This is a peace agreement. The outlines of the peace agreement are pretty much known. And it's up to us to decide when this agreement will happen, because basically it's a question of time. In 100 dead, in 10,000 dead, it's up to us to decide how many kids will die before we'll sign those papers. And as long as we are not talking, children will go on dying. And we say something very, very simple. Look, we can talk. After what we've been through, after what we saw, after what we did, we can talk. And if we can talk, anyone can talk, and no one has the right not to talk. With this very simple message, we go out anywhere, and as loud as we have to, we cry it out. In the streets, in Israel, in Palestine, and in the entire world. We know that we will not reinvent the wheel. We will not produce a new agreement that will take care of all the problems. There are people who can deal with it, who can do it, who can solve the problem. We believe that if our two governments will sit together, there's no problem that cannot be solved. What we are trying to do is to promote the popular sentiments in the two communities in a way that they will force the two governments to sit down and to talk about these solutions. Now, in our organizations, we took a commitment to talk, no matter what. It is very hard in such conditions to go on talking about peace, about hope, about things like that, but frankly we believe that there is no other way. And this is why we sit here in front of you and we go on, we keep on doing this too.